Get your motor running, get out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go and make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning.
Give you a quick rundown on the trail then. Drove into the park, left the car here, then walked down a gravel road to the group camp where we stayed the night. In the morning, got up, started the adventure, went up into the hills, some up and down, some flat spaces, some up and down, winding round and around until we see the Vermilion River. After that, we walk along the trail and we see a lot of the Vermilion River along the way, intersecting various other trails that the park has. At this point, we say adieu to the Vermilion River, pass through another group camp. This one's called the East Camp. I've stayed there a couple of times. And continue on this stretch right here. Somewhere in here is a spot where the Hebernetic lab hamster, my son, did a Boy Scout Eagle project. We'll talk some about that. And then we make our way out. Finally, crossing a road right here, sort of joining the main civilization of the park. So much so that along this stretch here we are walking next to cornfields. Stop for lunch here, hope for some water. After lunch, walk back to the back 3 miles of the trails, intersecting again more shorter trails that the park has to offer until finally intersect this road right here, and then back to the car and home. So by the map, it says that the trail is 11 miles with a little extra bit here and there and everywhere. I probably logged 12. So here I am at the trailhead now. Swing around, got a parking lot. There's Mobile. There's some life down there already. I saw some deer. I'm scheduled to be camping at a group campsite. There's to be 25 or 30 other people coming tonight. I might not stay there. I might just sidle on down the trail some. We'll see. But it's time to gather up my stuff and head on out. So this first bit of trail, it's about 3/4 of a mile from the car, goes down to a group camping site. So you've got some nice green trees. I have to gather a little firewood here tonight. Saw some deer, saw some other wildlife of the two-legged kind. An elderly couple just out having their constitutional. This is group site 1. I was told up at the office that there's a group of 25 or 30 coming out here. Boy Scouts, I should imagine. They would have had turkeys for company as I came up the road. There was a flock of, I don't know, about a dozen turkeys or so. They heard me and they took off. Sort of sad. This now is one of the approved campsites. I had given some thought to pushing on, going down the trail a bit. But out here in the trees, it gets dark a little earlier. I can see the sun. Ooh, I've got about a hand. I've got to gather up some firewood, get a campsite. I won't stay here where tent dwellers stay, but having been here before, I know there's a ridge back there behind me where there's some nice hanging spots back there. Forecast for temperatures tonight, a little bit cooler than I had anticipated. It's going to be up in the upper 40s maybe. Remains to see whether the overquilt that I brought is up to the task. I put together an overquilt made of 1 sheet of Inceltec and then coating of 1.0 uncoated nylon on either side. It's not very heavy, so it weighs, I've forgotten now, 8 ounces, 9 ounces. But we will see whether it keeps me warm. I'll have some other clothing that I'll be wearing, and that's the plan, to pack light, carry little, and we'll see how that goes. Well, I'm going to sign off and go find my site and gather up some firewood. And mayhaps, if I am quick at all these, then we can have some more video looking at the campfire. Well, I got a different site. Had been the bridge crossing a gully from the campsite that I looked at before to the other side, but that's gone, perhaps washed away. Went across the road, found some nice hanging trees here, so we'll be spending the night. But best of all, I've got to show you this. I have no worries when it comes to campfire. Look at that pile. Here's what we'll be cooking with this trip. I have a brand spanking new little bug. It's one that has an attachment for alcohol burners. We'll look at that later. Here's my pot cozy. My pot is virgin also to campfire. Right now it's all nice and shiny clean, but that will soon change. What I have inside, got my handy dandy pocket knife, a Dozer design K-bar. I have inside of this my cotton balls. Here they are. Firemaker's best friend. A lighter. Flint and steel. Matches if needed. And for the alcohol experiments, I have Zelf's Vemen stove. But on that later. Got my trusty Snoopy cup. And then my pot in its cozy. So I'm going to get a fire started now and get some water boiling.
Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
So I've had my victuals. I had some taco rice. I took a couple cups of water, boiled them, then I simmered it. Wood stove is nice for the simmering. Then I put in a lot of pre-fried and walked-in bacon because everything's better with bacon. I boiled some more water. I'm going to have myself a cup of decaffeinated tea tonight. Maybe I'll wander around up and down the road a little bit, see if I got any of those neighbors. I don't hear anything here. I expect I'll be hearing coyotes pretty soon. And then wander back to the hammock. I've got some electronics, an iPod, I can listen to some music, or do some reading. So it's dark. It's, I don't know, 8:15 now. A little early for bedtime, but quiet is nice. The dark is nice. Morning is broken. The sun is peeking over the tops of the trees. It's 20 after 7. I've been up for half an hour. No, not an hour. Broken camp, had my breakfast. I'll be hitting the trail shortly after having the morning constitutional. So last night was an experiment using an overquilt that I made for the purpose out of one sheet of Insultech and one sheet on each side of uncoated 1.0 nylon. So it's like my bridge hammock, cut narrower at 1 foot, 36 inches at the top, 48 inches that is, and it's 72 inches high. The whole thing weighs 9 ounces. I have sort of a foot box here, just another layer of the nylon sewn in, so I can tuck my feet inside of that. Then the question was, would this keep me warm? And this was the only top covering I had. I did wear this jacket. I had a vest on underneath it as well. Long underwear, socks, normally what I wear for going to bed. And the answer was, even though it got down into the upper 40s last night, I was warm. And one nice thing about this is because of the design of the bridge hammock and the sides, the elevated sides, that I could put my feet in the foot box and then drape this out over the sides of the hammock. And that would create the air gap that we know that Insultech so much likes. And that was really nice. But even when the Insultech was just lying on me, then it worked just well. This morning I made my cup of tea using alcohol stove, Zelf's Venom stove. For the windscreen, I got to use the new version of Little Bug. It fits over that, and the pot fits very nicely. Of course, with the Venom, you see all the pot stand that you need. So it'll support this pot. And then the gap that it has between the pot here and the Little Bug is just right. So that's quite nice. As long as we're on the topic of alcohol stoves, though, there's a new attachment for the Little Bug. that allows you to use other alcohol stoves. So for the purposes of illustration, I brought along a mini atomic. We can place the little bug windscreen over the mini atomic, and there's a new extension you get. Some chain link, and there are slots in the body, so you measure off how high you want to suspend this chain over the alcohol stove, and we're going to put the pot supported by this chain. So the height that you use will depend on the stove, and I haven't actually done the measurement for mini atomic yet, just illustrating the concept. But then you can put your pot inside, and it's supported by that chain. And so there you can use the mini bug as a windscreen for virtually any alcohol stove. That's quite nice. Well, 7:30 turned into 8 o'clock, but finally I'm getting on the trail. What I'll be looking for as I go along this backpacking trail is these red marks. It's important to go around the trail in a clockwise direction because the red marks are only seen from one direction, a facet of the trail that I learned the hard way once upon a time. Trail itself, 11 miles, going up and down and up and down and up and down, and I'll show you some of those up and downs. So I'm ready for the adventure. Let's go. I often like to use a kilt when I hike. Gives me lots of air, freedom of movement, but not on this trail. It's a bit overgrown and a fair bit of poison ivy along the way. So for this trail, it's long sleeves, long pants, and gaiters. Now that's a blowdown. The map says we're going down for a spell now. They weren't hidden. Heading towards the Vermilion River, I think. Not sure if we'll actually come to the river itself. I could use some water somewhere along the way. Not sure where the water stops are. I'm carrying 3 liters to drink this morning. Expect that'll be enough. I see a little water down there. Second time I've seen water, so I'll probably be all right. So, made it to the Vermilion River. That's it behind me. Beautiful, beautiful spot. The Vermilion touches Illinois, Indiana. There are a number of places that people camp along the way. Beautiful places. There's a Boy Scout camp on one end my sons have gone to. Further along the way, there's another state park, Illinois State Park, Kickapoo State Park. I'll be going there next weekend with some families, doing a little tent camping. Oh, I was supposed to say that. But man, I got a lot of walking to do.